This is a meeting of the Board of Assessment Appeals. Today is Monday, March 30th. This is room number 3. The time right now is 5:45 p.m. This is Neil Fink. Welcome. My name is Neil Fink. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Okay.
I'll be hearing your appeal today, and I'll explain at the end. Each member hears appeals, and then we'll present them to a majority of the board for deliberation. But I'll explain all of that at the end.
Okay.
I'm just going to review a few things for the record. Everything is being recorded through the phone here. The current time is, whoops, that's not so good. I think I'm just going to touch this pen before I end up wearing the ink.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, current time is 5:50 p.m. This is appeal number 575, 57 Alden Street. Karen Savage is the owner. That's you, I assume?
Correct.
Okay. The town puts a value of $840,900 on your property. You're asking for a reduction to $680,000. Is that all correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to swear you in for the hearing. If you'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning this assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to sign, confirming that everything that we just reviewed is correct. You can use my pen.
Okay.
Okay. Confirming that this was all correct and that you were
You want me to sign here?
Yes.
Anywhere else?
No. And I'll fill in the bottom part. Okay. March. Okay. So now the rest of the time is yours to present your case.
Okay.
And what you're really targeting is that, the value that you're requesting, $680,000, would have been the fair market value of your home if you were to have sold it on October 1st of 2025.
Okay.
Which was the day of the assessment.
And what I did was I got comps, my next door neighbor, and a neighbor about 4 houses down the street from me within that time frame from October 2024 to October 2025.
Okay. So those were recent sales.
Yes, and
Okay.
that was the specified time period when
Yeah.
I went online and looked at all the information, and I printed out and looked through the whole grand list of all the homes sold at that time.
Great.
And I found 2 comps that are 2-bedroom, 1-bath homes like mine.
Okay.
Both.
Oh, yours is 2 bedrooms?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm on the wrong sheet.
Yeah, I'm a 2-bedroom,
I'm on the
1-bath
person
home.
who didn't show up. Okay. Okay, right. And I actually looked up your file earlier, so you had looked at 73 Alden Street and 183 Alden
Right.
Street. Okay.
And again, I said within that time frame that they sold.
Right.
And they both sold as 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom homes.
Right.
For $705,000.
Yeah, I thought that was a good coincidence that they both sold for the same exact price.
Yeah. And then, in my estimation, first off, my home's older than those 2 homes, and both those homes have garages, which increases the overall value of the home.
Okay. So you have no garage?
I have no garage, correct, no garage. The arsonist in town apparently burnt it down.
Oh, no.
And that they both also have fireplaces, which would increase the value of the homes. I have no fireplace. I have mechanicals in the basement.
Okay.
So non-FEMA compliant. I don't know about those homes in that, but
okay.
Certainly not being FEMA compliant hurts the value of your home.
Right.
I didn't include that in my write-up, and then.
I'm taking all these notes
okay.
down, so I'll have anything else that you want to share that wasn't in here. I'll have as notes when I present your appeal.
My home is currently 98 years old, and the other homes were built in 54 and 40.
Right.
So they're not brand new, but mine was built in 1928. So overall, that tends to, newer
Sure.
homes tend to have increased value. So those are the most pertinent things I felt about.
Okay.
They're all fairly equal in square footage. My home is 1,200 square feet. The property sizes are fairly comparable.
Yeah, they're all like, 0.1, 0.11 acres. Yeah.
So,
and all
so they
within,
were really,
70 square feet of each other. So
Yeah.
they're really good
Yeah.
comps.
they're very good comps, yeah. And so, I looked through the whole grand list, and I looked at other homes in the beach area, and there were some that were, with a higher closed price, and some significantly lower, too, than the 705. So I just really went with the two homes that were
Right.
within my block.
Right. No,
essentially.
and having comps that are your neighbors on your same street, you couldn't ask for something better.
That's what I felt, at least.
People, some people have a hard time because nothing's sold in their neighborhood, so they're going 2, 3, 4, 5 miles out because it's the best they can do.
Right.
So then it's a difficult judgment call for us, but this is really clean.
It's a short street, as a matter of
Right.
fact, and there is a fair amount of turnover of the homes on the street.
Just curious, I don't know exactly where all
So
these
I
streets is.
reprinted that up because I noted one of the homes, I said sold in 2014 as opposed to 2014.
I did notice that, but in my notes I corrected
Okay.
it because I looked it up. But I will,
I have copies if you want.
okay, yeah. I can,
I just corrected it. I was like, that's a big spread. I was looking at it tonight. And so, basically I was comparing 705 and saying, well, they both have garages, according to, and I was looking online, it was like according to like Redfin or other real estate analyses, they're like, that would increase the value of the home by about 12%, or $23,000. So I was like, okay, if you're taking 20 grand off of 705, then, you're in the 680 range
okay.
as an approximation.
So I'm sorry, so you're saying, like, if you adjust for, like, the garage and the fireplaces
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff, that's how you get
Yeah.
from 705 to 680.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even put them all in. I just went with the garage, and I was like, okay, that's about
I'm
20.
just curious, like, because they actually usually, I can tell you that when the assessor values the garage at $5,800,
Okay.
and the fireplace at $1,800, so.
Yeah.
So like $10,000, but.
Okay. Well, I was going with what I found online.
Right,
and
which is
market analysis
fine. We can,
Mhm.
and the board can look at that and
Okay.
can always, if they feel it's necessary, can always adjust the amount a little bit.
Okay.
But I think you're definitely, a reasonable ballpark, based on those comps. Especially like 73 is like within a month of the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
October 1st date, the, other one, even if you time adjust that. Like 183, if you time adjust that for the appreciation, that I think it was about 6%.
Okay.
Over that
Over
year,
the
so
course
that,
of the year.
yeah, so
Mhm.
then that gets you to 747. So
Okay.
it's still, $100,000 away from the 840 that
Right.
they. But what I think is interesting.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. If you need to take it, that's it. I've run ahead of time. A few like this that I want to ask you about, like this one that, it sold in September of 2015. 725, so a month before the
Right.
reval
The
date.
end of the value, of the window.
Yeah, so sold for 705, but they still appraised it for 788, and we know that things didn't shoot up, 10% in that month.
Right.
Like, so, which is why it's much better to have actual sales comps than to try to even to compare it to other appraisals and stuff. So you did a good job with your homework.
I did my homework. I definitely poured through the whole grant list and printed it all out and scanned the whole thing and really felt that these were the most.
Yes, this is pretty straightforward. And you just gave me that. Well, I corrected it on here anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if you need any other materials from me.
I think unless there was something else that you didn't include in what you submitted.
The only thing I didn't include, which you put in the notes, is like, I'm not FEMA compliant because my mechanicals are all in the basement. I haven't done significant improvements to the home. Just inside, it's just like painting and that's about it. Other than no like kitchen reno or bathroom reno or anything.
Right, not since you've owned the home in 2013.
No, correct, not since I've owned the home. I think you're right. Prior owners have done some work.
Right. Curious. So 73, they did a very small remodel in 2013, but it doesn't look like that. I don't think that they're in the compliance either.
She's a ranch. That was the other thing I put in here, that I have a bungalow style, which is technically, I have, from my research, considered the least desired home style, and that ranches will generally sell for more.
You're listed as a cape, but I guess there is no bungalow category, or I don't know, actually.
It's not a cape, it's a bungalow. But yes, I did notice that it was listed as a cape on the grand list. It's a cape home.
There is actually a bungalow category, so we can note that also. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's definitely a little different from a cape.
Yeah, it's absolutely a bungalow.
Because it's
a
kind of.
I can tell.
It's kind of cool. It's like pretty house.
Thank you. I love it.
But it's not a cape. It's not like that dormer style.
And my neighbor next to me is a ranch, so she's very, very open floor plan. It's more desirable. And the home down the street is more of a cape, but I think they listed as a cape on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, like, just because of where it is, like, like 80 or 90% of your value is the land, really, anyway. So, all right. Well, if you don't have any other information to share,
you don't need anything else from me, right?
No, I mean, I think you sent in copies of everything, so I have.
Yeah, I provided that.
Yeah.
And then.
But you just gave me another copy with that correction at the close date. So, the next step, like I said, we're starting now, actually, this week to deliberate on appeals.
Okay.
We have a lot to get through, so it's going to take a couple of months.
Okay.
Once we do get through, and get to yours, you'll be notified of the board's decision and vote on yours within 7 days of that decision.
In terms of the process, with the valuation that I estimated, you had mentioned something. Is it the board look at that value, that number and say yes or no, or do they kind of tweak it?
So we start from that number,
Yeah,
and then the board has the prerogative to either, like somebody could make a motion to adjust that number a little bit, either up or down.
okay,
And we have a lot of realtors on the board.
Okay.
Some of them say, well, you know, that number actually should be a little lower, or, you know,
Okay.
or maybe a little bit higher, or,
yeah,
you know, so it's not necessarily a straight, you know, yes or no. But, you know, one of the things that we try to be mindful of, though, which is, you know, in terms of the process, is that if you're denied completely, then you can come back and appeal again next year. If you
Okay.
get a reduction of any type of reduction, then you can't appeal again until the next reval, which is in
Okay.
4 years.
okay,
So the one thing that we try to avoid is, you know, adjusting that number to, you know, giving somebody like a tiny reduction, because that's just not fair. Or like you had an appraisal of 840, if we came back and said, oh, well, we reduced it to 820,
well, that's what.
you know, that's sort of unfair, because then you can't, you know.
As far as the company that did the initial screening,
Mhm.
that was what
Did you meet with them?
I called them,
Okay,
and I said, I had prepared the same material
right.
and
And
went
what
through
did,
it,
and what did they
and I
say?
talked to him on the phone, and then it came back, and it was a reduction of about 10 or 20 grand, I can't
Right.
remember exactly. And that's why.
But with them, you still have the right to appeal
And that's why I said
here,
it was
right?
real. So I was like, no, it doesn't meet with the comp,
Right.
you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that, you know, the challenge that they have is that it is, you know, they're doing it as a mass appraisal, they're using a computer model. So, you know, when we do it, we're really able to look at the individual information that each person brings in.
Yeah.
It's much harder for them.
Okay.
You know, they're not really looking in detail at every property, because
Well,
they have to
he
look at it.
did,
I mean, they do
he
when
did
somebody
Google
speaks
Earth
with
and
them.
zeroed in on my house while we were on
Right.
the phone call. And said, oh, this house, this is what it looks
Right.
like. And
Did he
oh,
tell you, like, if there were specific comps that they looked at for your
no, he
property?
didn't mention anything. He's like, oh, you got new siding. I'm like, no, I didn't. That siding is not new, and in fact, it needs to be replaced.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Because, yeah, I mean, they should have looked at, to see if there were permits or something.
Okay.
Like that, but-
He didn't mention any of that.
Anyway, so, like I said, you know, if your appeal is denied completely, you can come back again next year. If you're granted a reduction, then you cannot appeal again until the next reval, which is in 4 years.
Okay.
If you disagree with the board's decision, the next step you could take would be to appeal your decision in court, and instructions on how to do that will be in the decision letter.
Okay.
So, unless you have any other questions, that concludes.
No,
the hearing.
thank you for your time. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for coming in. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
The current time is 6:07 p.m. That concludes Appeal 575.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Neil, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. This is Neil. This is my wife, Margaret.
Okay. Hi.
Hold on, do you want to go on, we have to go on for, FaceTime or just speaker?
You can FaceTime, it doesn't matter, whatever you wish.
So when
Okay, that's fine.
you'll be looking at the ceiling.
Okay. Yeah. The speaker is fine. Like, technically, we're not really supposed to do remote, but I'll make an exception for you. So, okay.
Thank you
So,
very much.
so welcome. My name is Neil Fink. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'll be hearing your appeal today, and then I'll explain at the end, but the way it works is that each member hears a number of appeals, and then we present it to the rest of the board for deliberations. So just need to go through a few things first, and then I'll be hearing the
Okay.
details of your appeal. So this is appeal number 896. The current time is 6:12 p.m. I just need to note this.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. The property address is 111 Soundview Avenue.
Right.
The homeowners are Roger Muscater, am I pronouncing that
Yes,
right?
yes, that's
And Margaret Muscater.
right.
The town placed a value of $609,300 on your property. You're asking for a reduction to $550,000. We have Margaret on the telephone here. She was unable to make it. And we also have here, sorry, what's your name again? Nancy?
Yeah, I'm the niece.
Do you have the same last name?
No, Hovanec.
H-O-V-A-N-C-E.
EEC.
Oh, H-O-V-E-N-C.
Hovanec. You just write, you know what, just write Darby, D-A-R-B-Y, it's easier.
Okay. I should have just let you write it.
D-A-R-B-Y, that's fine. Thank you, Neil, I appreciate that.
Okay.
All
Okay. So, I need to swear you in for the hearing.
Okay.
If you raise your right hand, and Margaret, I'll trust that you're raising your right hand at home there. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, this is the information we just reviewed, just confirming that you are the homeowner. I'm going to ask you to sign here, confirming that we reviewed this information and that you were in fact sworn in, right here.
All right.
If you're going to be participating and speaking in the hearing, then I'll ask you to sign as
Sure.
well.
Okay.
Underneath?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Neil, I had explained as well that unfortunately I don't like to talk about it, but I'm disabled, and I mentioned that to the tax assessor's office. I mentioned that my niece would be coming. I thought that I would be able to make it, but there's no way I could get out the door, so I have to figure out.
Oh, absolutely. I understand perfectly. So hope you know, see what we have to do to accommodate.
So we're all sworn in now, so.
So we're all sworn in. So
Okay,
now,
yep.
so now the rest of the time is yours to present your case, and what you're really aiming it for is to, you know, explain why you believe that on October 1st of 2025, the fair market value of your home, if you were to sell it on that date, would have been $550,000. And I do see, you know, you provided a lot of information. I did review some of it quickly before you came in, and I saw you provided several comps with sale dates within the appraisal window. But I'll let you, you know, go through and explain everything
Okay.
in your own words.
So simple stuff. We haven't had any improvements in this house in years, and from what I understood, a lot of the evaluation, they'll take the average of all the improvements in an area and kind of spread them out, you know, so we get hit with improvements that we really didn't do. So, you know, we haven't had any improvements in quite some time. The second thing is the the property card shows that we have hardwood floors on our first floor. No, we don't. We have laminate floors. We've never had hardwood.
Oh, okay.
I know it's been on there for 30. We've been there for 38 years. Yeah, so we've never had hardwood.
We reached out to them to mention that, a few times, but it's never been changed, Neil. So I wish I had hardwood floors. So Roger supplied the pictures.
I've got some pictures of them, and they're in crummy shape, too. And they kind of buckle in spots.
Oh, I
There's
see.
been some
Okay.
things like that. So that's something that would have to be done if somebody bought the house in the first place. Or
Okay.
if
I
we
just
do.
want to make a note of that separately because I want to bring that to the attention of the assessor's office so they can try to get that corrected on the field card. And sometimes I have well over 100 of these that I have notes on, and those notes don't always make it back to the assessor's office.
Imagine.
Just a question, how do they, create the improvements? Because on the field cards, they have a certain set amount of improvements. What is the formula or the rubric, or how do they actually create, how do they find that number if nobody's done anything?
I mean, mostly, the only thing that they would consider to be improvements would be if you had, taken permits out. So there's, I can see on the card that you replaced your windows in 2006. This is September 16th of 25. Add PTO. I don't know what that means. Said something about there were some skylights, I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's the skylights.
Yeah, but,
There's only two skylights.
yeah, there's only
Yeah, they
two
were-
skylights,
There
Oh,
were
okay.
3,
right.
and the guy we brought in couldn't get the same size skylight, so we ended up with 2.
And then he covered
Okay.
up the other, yeah, so that's another change.
Okay.
That was in 2005 or 6.
Yeah,
Right.
Early
There
2000s.
was a leak, and that's why they had to then just go to, because it leaked the old one.
Right. So, the other thing that they do is they apply a depreciation. I don't have the chart with the codes in front of me, but you have, which it's based on the age of the home, and your home was built in 1978, I guess.
Yes.
Right.
So based on
David Marsilio, of Marsilio's in town,
Mhm.
bought his house, and those skylights were there at the time we purchased the home. So he's the one who had it built in 78.
Oh, okay.
And so there was 3, and then they leaked. So it's not like we put in the skylights. It's just it leaked, and they could only get 2, and that's what they did to fix it.
Got it.
And the house
Okay.
was built on the foundation of the original house.
Right. I guess the original house burned down.
apparently,
Yeah.
in 78 or 70, whatever it was. Christmas, from what I understand.
Oh, that's terrible. So, yeah, so what they do with the actual bill, they price the land based
Okay.
on, essentially what, the land would be worth if there was no home on it.
Mhm.
And then they look at the value of the building, and then they apply a depreciation to the building
Right.
based on the age and condition. So, the value of your house, if it were brand new, they say is about $213,000, and then they applied a 28% depreciation to that. So,
Do they look at area as well? So would they look at, ours is 90, or that's the area they look at?
the neighborhood code.
Yeah,
That's factored into the land.
okay,
So there's a neighborhood so all the land is, again, everything's based on these tables. So
okay,
they start with kind of the same value for all land, and then they apply a neighborhood adjustment. So
okay.
the neighborhood, I'm not sure where Soundview Avenue is.
90, the neighborhood is not 90.
Where is? what
It's
area is
literally,
that?
right where the Scap Dodge is, there's going to be that
Oh.
development, the Bengal development.
Oh, okay.
That's literally across the street.
So that neighborhood has,
Yeah,
like
we're
a
just putting the apartment
1.2
building. We're on
is
that
the
street.
adjustment. Okay.
Across from us, actually.
Auntie, I'm sorry?
Tungus Hill was kind of, they call
No,
it
I
the area.
just said it's across the street from where the new apartment building, where they're
Correct.
gonna start building the apartment building
Right, the port,
on 80
yeah,
Soundview Avenue. So we're just across the street from that. It only goes 3 blocks, Soundview Avenue.
right.
Okay.
Right from Stop and Shop.
So I do see, it looks like you had an informal
Yeah.
hearing,
Mhm.
and they made some change,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
how, I'm just curious, what did they,
Yeah, well, so
it was
I can explain that one more if you want,
609
because I
originally?
communicated with them in the
Oh,
informal
609
hearing.
is current.
We spoke to an Andrew Levy, Levi, and at that time, he was very gracious. We explained on the vision where it said no trespassing, and then it said gated COMM, I think, So we spoke with him to explain that no trespassing sign was just an Amazon little sign that was put in probably 2 or 3 years ago during COVID, because initially they said they were going to be going door to door giving vaccines to people, which sounded absurd. But so anyway, all the picture you'll see that Roger has supplied there is a picture of just a little tiny black with gold, no trespassing sign next to the angel that's right in front of my, in my driveway. And so I explained that to Andrew, and then the white fence, the 4 pounds of white fence that we put up and was because they're going to be ripping up our streets this month. As you know, maybe you don't know, but they approved.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we should, we should get
into
into that.
Pictures and everything.
So anyway, Andrew, though, was very lovely, and he then said at that time, because it was only 15 minutes that you've had, he said, you know what, he knew, we told him about the street, the apartment building, the house directly across from us, Neil. Unfortunately, that seller had to sell it for $130,000 less, and the house next door couldn't sell, and all of the above. He said, take the information you have with reference to the comps or the backup, bring it down to town hall, because then we will review it. That was in the informal process. Right. Roger did that. He submitted it to Matt, and I had it even in a binder, so it was easy to just
right, so they reduced it from 631 to 609, I guess,
and what happened was, unfortunately, it got put into a formal procedure, which is why Roger's there now.
Right.
Even though all our documentation, most of it, is more there now, but we had submitted that and they put it right into the paperless.
Well, they did give some, they reduced, it looks like they reduced it from it was originally 631, I guess, and now they reduced it to 609, but you're asking.
Yeah, I still think it's pretty high.
For 550, and you have every right to appeal it further, which is why you're here. So let's go through the rest of the.
By the way, just one more thing.
Sure.
They didn't get a chance to review all that because I spoke to Andrew. Actually, I called today. I was lucky enough to find his number. I left a message Friday, and he said yes, he remembered it, and to what he told me to do, he followed it and put it down. But nobody got to review it, so when it was still in the informal procedure, time frame. And then it bounced into this. So
right. Yeah, they're kind of out of the Tyler Technologies who did the appraisal for them. They're out of the process now. It just all comes to the board at this point. So.
Correct.
Okay. So you mentioned the.
The next thing was the building.
Yeah.
Across the street from us. This is our street, actually. Let me just show you this picture.
Oh,
here.
okay.
This is Soundview Avenue.
Okay.
And it runs kind of a downhill, too. And then it runs up like 2 more blocks up to Knapp's Highway.
Okay.
So anyway, Jeff Engel, who lives in this house, and got together with some group, and they're going to build an apartment building right smack in the middle of our street. Now, this is it's almost a disaster. And we went to hearings and protests, and we had about 30 people at the first hearing. And, we lost because of Section 8-30.
Mm-hmm.
So and we protested because of we believe it's going to cause water problems. We think it's going to cause traffic. There are 46 units and 55 parking spaces. The parking spaces are actually in the, let me get a picture of the first 2 floors. It's a 5-story building, 50 feet high.
I think it is 4.
And I think the highest point in the whole neighborhood is 30 feet. So it's going to tower over everything. Especially, the house across the street, now just an example, because we contend that it's going to reduce our property values.
Right.
Which we weren't allowed to bring up at the hearing for the TPZ.
Really? They would not consider that?
No, they said the only thing that you can say is health or safety. Because there's Section 830.
I don't know anything about
this
the
thing's
TPZ
going on.
process, really.
It's been going on a few years now, all over town, and there's people are up in arms, but
okay.
It's a state. What happens is the planning and zoning has defeated some of these projects, but then the state overturned them. Some judge upstate would overturn it because, you know, the law is the law, blah, 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 you know? So, anyway, we,
So you said here, this is significant, so at 112 Soundview Avenue, there was there a contract on that property?
yes, there was, and, really, this is all I have on this, I couldn't get the print, but if you go on the internet, they have a little price change schedule on Zillow. Now, this is for 112. He put it up for sale for $899.
Mm-hmm.
That was in September. He got a pending sale for $829. Okay, he had a sale, and he was going to close in December. Now they announced that they were going to
Build a complex.
build that.
Right,
Right before Thanksgiving, there was going to be a meeting in a couple of weeks,
Right.
a public hearing, which we had to gather up people to go. So we had about 30 people show up the first time.
So the buyer withdrew, and then he
Yes.
put it back on the market. For
Yeah,
how
yes,
much?
so he backed out. In fact, the fellow who backed out, they were a young family from Stanford, and they came by, I happened to be out on the front lawn that day, and I was talking to him, and he said, oh yeah, you know, we really love this house, but the problem is, this wall for this building is gonna come right up to the edge of his property.
Right.
The property that, yeah.
And the
their
fellow
property
who
is here.
bought the house, they just built a sunroom
Yeah.
in the back of the house, which is not gonna get sun anymore, because this is the east side of the house.
Right,
And so the east and the south side, this lady here is gonna be cut off completely.
right.
And we really thought, there's no way they're gonna approve this thing, but they did.
And then, did you show me your house? It's right here.
Yeah, and I am, my house is
Here,
right.
wait, just give me 1 second,
Okay,
sorry, I just
okay.
wanna pull up that, so, yeah, so it ended up selling for $730 actually, not
Yes.
$750. That sheet said $750.
No,
So it knocked off, yeah, I think the first time I had was,
This said pending sale at $750, but it actually sold for $730.
oh, it did sell for $730, yeah, this is all.
Yeah. It's a beautiful home, and it was only built in, I think, 99, 2000, and watched it go up. And they've done wonderful, I mean, they even did so many improvements to it. It's a beautiful home. And none of us knew that there was going to be an apartment building until right after Thanksgiving. We weren't told any of the stuff that went before. Nobody on the street was. And I understand apartment buildings. I've lived in Fairfield for almost 50 years, but I'm born and raised in New York City. I have nothing against apartment buildings except putting this monstrosity on not even an acre and a half. It's just going to be detrimental for even the children walking up the street. You won't be able to. They're going to break ground within this month. And we're going to have it for a year and a half to 2 years construction. They're going to demolish houses
This is a
across
picture
the
of the
street.
house.
And we don't know what's going to happen.
Of the apartment.
Nobody's going to.
Go.
Right.
One more.
My
No,
house
next one.
Nobody can sell their house. The man next door has been trying to. He can't sell it, and so that's what we're just asking.
Okay.
I know what George is saying.
Okay, we're gonna have to kind of speed up a little bit here, just 'cause
Okay.
we're at like
So
20 minutes already, so,
So anyway, so that's,
okay.
what else did I say?
So I have most of so the recent sales is,
And then this is from the town's information that's on their website.
right, are these all neighborhood 90?
Well,
or
most of them are 90 or a couple of 95.
90, oh, you have that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And, I look at them and they're, various, oh, here it is. Here, this is, I'm sorry, this is just the apartment they pulled into. So it's
Okay.
huge. And
Wow.
it's right across the street from my house.
Right, is that in here, or?
No, but you can take those.
I just wanna make sure anything that's
No,
not
I
in
don't
this
believe I
file
put-
that I took
I don't
copies
believe I
of.
put the picture in there last time.
Okay,
So you
So
can
let me hold on
have
to
this.
this, so I don't think I have
You can have
this
that too.
either.
And here's the Zillow for the
This was,
The price
112,
change.
the one that sold for
Yeah.
730, right across the street, right next to the complex.
So he went from almost 830
No,
to 730.
899, I think it was.
But I mean, after the sale, and he definitely had, which was ready to go, but,
He's asking about comps too.
and I get,
right, yeah, so that pending sale, they lost almost $100,000 from the original pending
Right,
sale to the
right.
final sale.
now that's a 2,300 square foot house, and it was
Right,
only built in 1999, so it's a lot newer than ours, and,
sure.
and
But
it-
still,
it's
that's,
right.
I mean,
That's a big chunk.
but if you look at it as 10% of the
Right,
value, or
right,
a little
right.
bit more than 10% of the value, that's
And if you look at
significant.
the houses in our street, on just that aerial view, they're all
Mhm.
capes and and pretty much capes. And then you have, the two, you can't even see the two across the street. There's two newer houses that are both, fairly big colonials, but everything else is small.
Mhm.
And, the other thing.
The comps are definitely valuable, they're very
Uh-huh.
helpful for,
I did an average there, it came out like at 550-ish.
and, yeah, and so your ask price is in
Yeah.
range of the comps, so,
But the other thing, we have our next door neighbor, here's a cape, and it's newer, on both sides. I have a comparison with those two. Oh, he put his house up for sale last November, and he got nothing. I mean, no bites.
which
And
one
we
is
think-
that?
It's,
Is that in the air? or-
actually, I didn't know, it's not in that.
Okay,
It's in here.
In fact, I didn't even think of it at the time. I don't know what I have on
You
there.
want me to find it?
I have his,
do you know the address?
Yes, it's 101 Soundview. Okay. We jumped by 10, so he's 101,
Here there.
I'm 111,
One of mine's right there.
and the one next to it. Oh, here it is now. So I just took my house next to my two neighbors. He's directly across the street from the new project. I'm right next to him, and she's next to me. Now, back in the 24 appraisal, we weren't that far apart, but we are now. So
Right.
I took a big jump, and, I thought we should be a little more in line, That's,
Mhm.
that's another thing. So it's this, the fact that 112 lost 100,000 on that, at least. And then,
So we were
the
talking
comps.
101 Soundview we're talking about?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
He's the one that tried to sell it. He put it on the market for a couple of months, and,
Okay,
But there's no increase in his taxes at all, and that was another point, Roger. There was no increase at all to the 101 Soundview, even though they had finished raising
No, it
the
went up.
office or whatever.
it went up 45%, which was
Yeah.
about the town average, yeah.
yeah, from the previous.
Yeah.
So we just didn't understand that either. Not to be negative, but just to make sense.
Let's see, I had, oh, here it is.
And Mr. Vangel's across the street, Roger, you have to get to Neil as
Yeah,
well.
you need, 80. In here, 80.
Oh, it is?
The one across the street has a larger square footage, and all the documents are not listed for some reason. They're permit sold, but they're not, they're listed on the field card as one. So take a look at that.
Oh, this is Ricky, yeah, this is him.
Yeah,
What address is this?
that one's 80, Soundview, right across the street.
This is the guy who's actually having his house torn down, and
They're building a new
they're
house.
building the whole thing right across, so.
Right.
He actually owns the house behind him on the same piece of property. It's another lot, but, so there's 3 lots, he has 2 lots, and there's one behind him, so there's 3 lots. And they're gonna be taking down some 100-year-old trees, it's gonna be a mess. we think it would be virtually impossible to sell a house on that street in the next 2 years, or whatever it takes
Right.
to build it.
Okay. All right. We're really going to have to wrap up because
Let me just
we're
take this.
supposed to,
Roger, on Mr. Van Gelso, there's only one, that house is 2540 off the top of my head, 2,540 square feet, and just in comparison to ours is 1640. But I'm not.
it's 2530.
Number-wise, it doesn't make sense that his is appraised or assessed, not
It's appraised
that
at
much more,
693.
and only one bathroom versus they have three. I think there's an error on their card. But in any event, even with more land, it just doesn't, the numbers don't jive. That's the simplest way.
Actually,
Right.
but actually, what I'm really
Yeah, I mean,
contending is that the house is one thing, but the location, I would say location. Our location isn't the best part of town, but on top of that, this apartment building is just messing
Right.
things up.
It seems like, I mean, the apartment building seems to be a, significant
Yeah.
detrimental factor, and you provided, good comps to show, that are in line with the value that you're requesting. I mean, this other information is interesting, and I'll share it with the rest of the board. It's hard to, without, reporting that back to the assessor, and, they can try and go inspect the property or whatever, but that gets really complicated and contentious. I don't know how that works, honestly.
Yeah, there's a couple of, my house doesn't get water. It never did, 38
Right.
years. The house next to me gets it, in the big rainstorms. And now they're afraid that the water runoff of this property could, be even worse. So
Yeah,
that's another thing.
Yeah,
you never know.
Or the foundation,
Oh,
it's blocking.
Oh, one other thing is after they voted on this, we lost it 4-3.
Mhm.
So it was close. And then a couple of the members of the TP&Z even said, when it came to, the first 3 people that voted, all voted against it, 2 ladies and a gentleman. And then we thought, we're going to win this. The next 4 all went the other way.
Huh.
And then each one, before they went the other way, they told us, I don't like this project. Frankly, it's too big for this neighborhood.
Right.
But I have to vote for it because it's under Section 830G.
Right.
And they're all afraid, that some couple said that, they basically think it would be overturned in Hartford by a judge, and,
Well, that's what happens, yeah. My
Yeah,
understanding is that if they vote it down, then they end up having to spend a lot of
so
money.
they save
in court.
legal fees, right, so that's.
Okay. We really are going to have to wrap up because I'm way over time. So just to explain the next steps, I'll be presenting your petition, like I said, to a majority of the board. It's a deliberation session for consideration and a vote. Once we do get to that session, which is going to take a little while because we have a lot of these to get through, but you will be notified within 7 days of the decision.
Oh, 7 days?
Once we make a decision, not within 7 days of today,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah,
7 days
right.
of decision.
Okay.
So, which will be sometime by the end of May.
Okay.
If your appeal is denied, you can come back again next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal for an additional reduction again until the next revaluation in 4 years. If you disagree with the board's decision, you can take the next step, which would be to appeal in court, and instructions on how to do so will be in your decision letter. So that concludes our hearing. The current time is 6:41 p.m.
I just have one question.
Concluding hearing, appeal 896.
When they hand back the ruling, is there a reason given or a rationale given as to why you're approved, not approved, or?
The written decision will just say
Yes, sir.
what your new appraisal
Okay.
is, which could be fully granting the amount you request. The board has the prerogative to adjust it to a slightly different amount if they feel, you made a good case, but maybe, they decide that it should be 560 instead of 550 or something. And then everything will be available on video, posted on the town website. So you'll be able to see the discussion and find out, why they made the decision that they did.
I see.
But I don't believe you'll get like written detail of the rationale for the
Okay.
decision, but you can watch the hearing.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And if we came in, can I come into the assessor and actually look at the property and say how we,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go into the assessor's office
Okay, that's fine.
downstairs
Yeah.
anytime, you can ask them to pull up your field card
Okay.
and have them go through it with you in
Perfect.
detail, and they'll
That's great.
explain it to you.
okay, perfect,
And you can point out the discrepancies.
great,
And they should,
Thanks,
there's the basic things like those wood floors, they should correct that
yeah,
for you
and the skylight,
immediately.
yeah,
Yeah, and the skylight, they should just, or they may say that they need to come out and do an
Yeah.
inspection. So as long as you allow them to come out, they'll fix it.
okay,
And if you have issues like you showed me with the buckling or whatever, they may even adjust to that depreciation or make a condition adjustment, which would also impact your appraisal. Okay? Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. The current time is 6:46 p.m. This is appeal number 168. My name is Neil Fink. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment of Appeals, and I'll be hearing your appeal today.
Okay.
We just have to go through a few things first, and then I'll hear the information that you need to share. The address is 509 Shrub Oak Lane. The property owners are Ram Miron and Honey Heller. The town valued the property at $1,254,500. You're requesting a reduction to $1,095,000. Is that all correct?
Yes.
Okay. I need to swear you in for the hearing. If you can raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Now, I just need you to sign here, confirming that we reviewed this information and that it was correct, and that you were sworn in. Okay. And then, so now the rest of the time is yours, and,
Okay, so I basically prepared everything for you here, and I'm gonna leave it with you.
Okay.
Well, the number, on this property, the number 1 is, it's not a colonial, it's a modern house, and they don't sell per square foot as much as a colonial house.
Okay. Sorry, I skipped order on these, and I want to make sure I have the right one. So this here, they list it as a modern contemporary. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Okay.
Yes. And then what I'm saying is the modern contemporary don't sell
Okay.
as much. The other thing is there is wetlands in the back, so you can't put a pool or expand.
Right.
And per square foot, I got you like a couple of cells, comps, that are comped at 240 per square foot.
Right.
Rather than 262.
It's a little hard to go straight off of square feet sometimes because there's other, factors in there. Like somebody might have there's the land there, somebody might have a finished basement or fireplaces or other things, but, it's still an interesting metric.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second, I'm just not familiar with, Shrub Oak Lane, I'm curious. I see. You're by the reservoir there. Okay, in the Audubon Society. Okay. Got it. Okay. So the comps that you have, are they recent sales?
Yeah, they're recent. You have them here. So I'm going to leave this with you.
Okay. Are they, were they in the original material that you sent in, or you brought that?
No, it's right here.
Okay. Great. Okay.
And the condition also is not good, so
Right, I did already make a note of that, 'cause I did look at your file beforehand. So,
If you want to see some pictures, I can show them to you. Or if you want to write a check, it's going to be the best.
If I only I could. You should see the condition of my house. Oh, sorry, one sec, I'm just pulling up this,
You know, order the
oh, wow,
windows.
yeah, so. Oh, wow, yeah, the windows don't look bad.
Yeah, they're
like,
or some of them are original Anderson.
right.
You know, so anyway, so you have it right there, hopefully.
So 66 Adams is, slightly older, colonial, but, otherwise, and smaller.
Yeah, but we're going to square footage, right, not price.
Right.
So that's what
Well, yeah. Okay, then 200 Jones Drive, let's see what that's about. Drive. This one Drive is an older home, about half the size of yours, but
well, again, we're
sold for $1.2 million.
Well, look at the per square foot. So you have it, where is the information I gave you?
Yeah.
So, let's see. We have it here. So, Adams, 240 per square foot. That's right from June.
Okay.
How much it sold for and when it
Right.
sold for. That's what I printed it for you. And this is 242 per square foot.
Okay.
Just the land itself, the features of the land, you know, because you guys value the land so high.
Right.
And I think that's one
Well,
of the
that's the,
major
let's
issue
see,
here.
so it's,
And when you have wetlands,
the 1 year's, yeah, the breakdown was 707 for the land
Yeah.
and 544 for the
you
dwelling.
know, right. So just the land itself, the value went up so much. And there you have wetland, you cannot put a pool or anything. So
Right.
just right there should be easy.
Yeah, they adjusted, yeah, I mean, they gave you like, they gave you like a 10% adjustment
Yeah,
for
right.
wetlands,
Right.
0.9, yeah, for the wetlands. Yeah, because, I mean, what happens with wetlands is, unless like the entire property was wetlands, the way they look at it typically is that it still, the wetlands still count towards your coverage limits. So as long as there's enough non-wetlands that you could build, a nice large house.
It's a nice large house. Let's start with that. I'm not saying it's not. But if somebody wants to expand it, now it's limited.
Right.
Because you have to have a septic in a different location, but you don't have the location.
Right.
Or if you want to put a pool, you cannot put a pool by the
Okay.
wetland. So
Okay. So what did you get as the dollars per square foot for yours?
260 something.
Yes, I don't know the math. Okay.
264. It's right in the write-up.
Oh, okay. Oh, 262. Okay.
I prepared everything, so
Right.
you know if you have to refresh your memory later on, you have it. And we have it as well in case don't deliberate.
So I have another question for you. So, all right, so you have no finished basement or anything like that. None of these have, it looks like. Well, you got one of them. Okay. Well. Okay.
Chocolate.
So that.
And borrowing your pen for a second.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So was there any other information
No,
you need
that's it.
to share with me?
Okay.
Okay. So that, what time is it now? 6:57 p.m. That concludes this, appeal number 168. And now this is you also, 22 Beacon Drive, right?
Right, we can view it.
Okay, yeah, so we'll move on to appeal number 169. The time is 6:57 p.m., 22 Beacon View Drive. The owner is HHR Design Architectural Services. I assume that's your company.
Right.
The account is your own RAM on behalf of the company. The town valued the property at $545,400, and you're asking for a reduction to $410,000. I'll remind you that you're still under oath from earlier, so we don't have to say that again. I'll ask you to sign here. Let's do it earlier. Okay.
So this, again, I got you a couple of comps. So the area, this is the area, the low income area of Fairfield. Obviously, it's a rental.
Okay, yeah.
You know. Obviously, it's a rental.
Right.
We do have some wetlands in the back as well. And I got you
Okay.
the comps and so it's condition, location, some wetlands, and per square foot.
Okay. This is like a two-family?
It's a two-family,
That's like side by side?
yes,
or-
side by side. And also, you know, it needs a lot of updating.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe if we do all the updates, it would have that value, but not without the update.
Right.
And
So
also,
I was just trying to understand from the field card, it doesn't matter that much for the appeal, but just so I understand. So if you bought the property in 2011 and then transferred it to the LLC in
Right,
2017?
correct, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering why there was no price on the sale in 2017.
yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so, and you made a note that it was like, you know, in poor condition, essentially the worst house on the block.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And also, it's like with this, you know, with this assessment, probably the taxes are going to go up 25% or 20%, because I know you'll reduce the mill rate.
Right.
I'm going to increase the rent for these people. You know, you have retired people there, been there forever.
Right. So on the rental properties, the valuation can be, and I'm not an expert on this, but I can bring it so that other people on the board, and there are people who have more expertise. If you can provide me details on the rent and your carrying cost. It can be calculated more like a commercial commercial building would be done. So we can consider actually like the revenue and
Okay.
profit
Mm-hmm.
in addition to just the value of the property for resale.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you wanted to share some of that information
Well, I
with me.
can share it, it's easy, you know.
So what do you collect and rent?
So I'm collecting, 1550 on one side and 16 on the other side.
Okay. And what would you, I mean, it doesn't have to be precise, so what would you estimate without, not including taxes?
I cannot look at it, but,
You don't have a guess what your carrying costs are annually, you think, without the taxes?
I know basically my kind of income out of the property is 5 months of rent, more or less,
Okay.
you know. So I have the insurance, repairs, and taxes.
Um, Okay. Okay. I'll look up the tax amount, back that out, because they don't count the taxes when they do that calculation for the,
Well, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a form.
yeah, but I have a spreadsheet somewhere, but I'd rather just have somebody, one of the people who has more expertise on valuing the commercial properties that way. So I'll take that information, and we can look at that both ways. But the comps are helpful as well, because,
Right.
you have,
So you have the
You know,
figure on the next.
right. And honestly, I mean, so are these both multifamily as well, or these are single family?
I think, multi-family.
Okay,
I think so.
so, and,
One of them is residential.
let's say when they sold, are these recent sales?
Yeah, it says when they were sold, yes.
Okay, April 30th to 25.
So that's more or less the time frame we're looking
Yeah.
for, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, in a lot of ways, the actual sale price is somewhat more interesting than the dollars per square foot even, and those are in the range or lower than your ask.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to put this information into my notes here, because if I don't do it now, then I don't know when I will.
Okay. Are you getting to
I
the
have
end
like
of it already?
we're starting to, yeah, but I've done got about 150.
I know they changed my hearing date twice.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you not get the notice on time for one of them or something?
Well, for one of them, yeah, I got the notice late, but
Yeah.
it still came. So
Oh.
I sent an email because I got it the day before. I sent an email, but they didn't reply to the email yet, but they changed my date to a week ago.
Oh, and then they changed it again.
And then they emailed me again to say that, your
Oh, that's
conflict.
strange.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm sorry about that. That's
okay.
strange. Okay, yeah, so, wait, this is weird. Why is this one? Like that, pulled up the wrong one. 149 Chapman.
Yeah, due to conflict in your hearing with the board, change.
The 149 Chapman actually sold. Where, I don't know where they got this information from. It says it sold on February 3rd of 25. That's not recorded on the field card. There's no sale. According to the town, this house has been sold since 1997. Strange. There's a few realtors on the board. I'll have to look it up on the MLS. Right, and Jennings I have sold April 30th for $370. Okay. Yeah, so those are good comps.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you
And then,
for our hearing.
You're welcome. And then, just so you know, it's gonna take us a little while to deliberate on all this.
Right,
this is
yeah,
a
I
number,
know.
but by the end of May, you should get a decision, from the board. And it'll, also, it'll, tell you what the decision was, and also, what the next steps would be if for some reason you
Right.
don't get what you're looking for. The next step would either be to reappeal next year, or to go to court.
Court, well, everything is not gonna help second time.
All right. Well,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming in. It's nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. The time is 7:07 p.m. That concludes Appeal 169. So, welcome. My name is Neil Fink. I'll be hearing your appeal today. The current time is 7:10 p.m. This is appeal number 933. The property address is 31 Edge Hill Place. The owner is Joanne Fredericks and Lordy St. Louis? St. Ellis, sorry.
No worries.
The town valued the property at $715,000. You're asking for a reduction to $689,000. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So I need to swear you in for the hearing. You can raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning this assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, I just need you to sign here confirming that the information we reviewed is accurate and that you were in fact sworn in. Okay, I'll get that right there. 30th of March. Okay, so now the rest of the time is yours to explain, why you believe that the value should be reduced to $689,000.
For that.
Huge. I mean, you have to start from a number. You can change that number if you feel it should be something different. Yeah, and what you're targeting, just to make sure, you know, is that, you know, what you believe the value of the home would have been on October 1st of 2025 if you were to have sold the home on that date, hypothetically.
Correct. So thanks again for, you know, hearing this appeal. I'm sure this is, I don't know, number 1,000, whatever.
Yeah, we have,
I'm sure
I've
you
done
got
a
quite
few
a
hundred.
few people who are here. So my concern is not about taxes generally. So it's more, I'm not disputing the model. I'm not knowledgeable enough to even do so, but my concern is specifically tonight with respect to the land valuation component, which nearly doubled despite no material changes that I'm aware of that should result in such an increase.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like to present is...
So, yeah, your property, your value is primarily driven by the land.
Right.
The dwelling is only
Exactly.
$100,000.
Correct. So
Total, this is, no Elk Hill Place, what neighborhood is this,
that's
near the
0080.
beach somewhere? No.
No, it's on the other side of the highway.
Oh, okay.
So what I've done is I've pulled together and summarized a
Right.
handout.
Right, and you had submitted this
I
last.
submitted that, but I don't think it was in this format, so just to help
Okay.
my point,
Right.
my
Oh, this
point.
is helpful, yeah, because I did enter all of these
Yeah.
into my file.
And so just based on the field cards which are available to me, I looked through not only my property, but those that I pulled as comp. 31 Edgehill Place, as I mentioned, is in neighborhood 0080.
Okay.
It's roughly 9,375 square feet with a site index of 5. There's public utilities, mostly level topography, which are standard.
Mm-hmm.
But importantly, in the field card, in the landline valuation section, includes an explicit highway location detriment reference. And I believe that this is important because location adjustments like this exist precisely to moderate the land value based on market realities such as traffic, noise,
right. But they gave a 0.95 for the highway, so it wasn't significant.
Yeah, I think that adjustment is acknowledged, but I don't know whether it's meaningfully reflected in the land value outcome. So if you look through this summary, you'll see that in the same neighborhood or immediately adjacent, these are homes of similar lot size.
Mm-hmm.
They've been assigned the same site index, and they're valued using, obviously, the same land model inputs by the town. And so I feel this is truly an apples-to-apples comparison based on the town's own data. Across Edge Hill Place, my property, Karen Street, Pepper Circle, Windsor, and Oakwood Drive, the site index is consistently 5.
Mm-hmm.
The size adjustment is 1, and the neighborhood adjustment for most of those homes is 0080 properties. So it tells me that the model considers these functionally comparable at a base level.
Right, all of them except for 48 Partridge are in neighborhood 80.
So where the properties do differ, the field cards document those differences explicitly. As I mentioned, 31 Edge Hill Place has a location detriment. 97 Pepper Circle has a reference to wetlands. 205 Oakwood has no detriment, but it also has sidewalks, which reflect superior walkability. And 14 Windsor is a larger lot, no location, no. Despite the highway-related detriment, Edge Hill land value per square foot is higher than Pepper Circle, which carries a real wetland constraint. And so my land value is almost nearly identical to the Windsor Place lot, which is a larger lot, no adverse location issues, and overall greater site utility. Meanwhile, Oakwood Drive, which benefits from walkability due to sidewalks, and appropriately shows a higher land value per square foot. So this model correctly recognizes the positive utility, but in my case, it does not appear to equally recognize the negative site utility. Core to my appeal is not the model structure, it's the outcome in this case. So when a location detriment is identified but does not result in a lower relative land value, the intent of the adjustment is effectively lost, in my humble opinion. And so in a reevaluation, I think proportionality is critical. The two lots with materially different market appeal should not converge to the same land valuation simply because they share the same site index. I respectfully ask that the board adjust the land value for 31 Edgehill Place to better reflect the highway location impact, the absence of sidewalks and other amenities, and its positive and its position relative, rather, to similarly sized unencumbered parcels in neighborhood 0082. So that
Okay.
is my.
Okay. I just want to clarify one thing. So I guess when you originally filled out the form, you used the assessed values?
Yes, I think at the
Okay.
time I didn't, I hadn't done as much research and.
That's fine. It seems like now you've done a lot of research.
I have.
Are you an attorney or you sound like
I
one?
am not.
Okay.
I believe on TV.
Right, because I had originally typed in here that this 482, 300N, I had made a note in here. I'd like to confirm whether you were asking about appraised values. So.
Yeah, that's the phrase. I think I might have.
89.
These are the field cards.
So I'm looking. Okay. So, I'll make sure I have, the 205 with the sidewalks. Ability. Land premium, that was on the field card.
Yes, I use.
Okay.
Great. Cartridge or?
I was looking at Pepperidge. And then Partridge. Different neighborhood. For adjustment. Yeah, unfortunately, it's so late. What I want to do is, on a quick action item, to look at, ask the assessor, just so that I can understand better kind of what how they decided, with that highway impediment, how they decide that to put a 0.95 and what would be the impact of, changing that to, a lower number.
Okay. So what would be next step on my end?
So really, you've done a tremendous amount of homework, which is, really helpful for the board. All of the comps you provided are inside the window of time that we're looking for. They're all, all but one are in the same neighborhood, but it's still even that, 48 Partridges, within a reasonable distance of your home. So, I think you've done your work now on us. So the next step really is, we have deliberations beginning actually tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's going to take us, through the month of May probably to get through all of them.
I wonder how many there are
It's
altogether.
about a little over 900. It's a lot. So once we do it's taking us a while to work through them, obviously. But once what happens is that, I'll be presenting your case with all the information that you shared to a majority of the board at one of the deliberation hearings, and there will be, consideration and a vote. Once that happens, you'll be notified within 7 days.
Okay, so I don't necessarily wait until the full process,
No,
just whenever my,
no, once yours happens, and, right now, at least the plan is we're going through, by neighborhoods, and, we're actually starting with, 80 is one of the earlier neighborhoods that we're doing, actually, so I don't know, because this hearing's at the very end,
yeah.
so it might, whether
Pushes
that'll
it to
make
the
it,
end, or-
yeah, I don't know what the impact will be, and I'm not the one deciding on, which ones get heard when,
That's
but,
fine. I just kind of wanted to understand,
right.
what the process
Right.
looks like and what I should,
right.
Yeah.
So, so beyond that, what happens is if your appeal is denied for some reason, then you do have the right to come back again next year and appeal again. If your appeal is accepted, then you cannot appeal again for a lower amount until the next revaluation period, which is in 4 years. If you disagree with the board's decision, then you do have the right to reappeal in court, and instructions on how to do so will be in your decision package. So if you have no other questions or information to share, then that concludes our hearing, and the current time is 7:23, concluding hearing 9:33. So welcome, I'm Neil Fink, I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'll be hearing your appeal tonight. Just go through a few administrative things and then let you dive in. The current time is 7:24 p.m. This is appeal number 159, 70 Long Meadow Road. The homeowners are Julie Marks and Stephen Marks. The town placed a value on the home of $1,456,200.
No.
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 Do I have the wrong address?
No, it's 70 Long Meadow.
Okay, well, that's why we go through this information at the beginning. Let me look up the card here. 70 Long Meadow Road.
No, it was initially assessed for 182,970.
No, I'm not looking at the assessment, I'm looking at the appraisal.
The appraised value.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have that, I only have the assessment.
Oh, so the amount that you put as the ask amount was based on the assessment?
Correct.
So I know it's very confusing because we're the Board of Assessment Appeals, but we actually are working with appraised amounts right now.
Yeah, because everything, for determining the actual
The
liability
taxes are-
of the assessed value.
Yeah,
So
but we're actually working off appraisals right now. So what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, is convert your
Yes, what's
amount to I'm going to take that, 887,776 divided by 0.7 is 1 million.
Do you have an extra pen by chance? Yeah, 'cause no documentation that I received ever had any comments towards a appraised value. Nothing that was sent to me, the town documents that were delivered to me only referenced assessed value.
Well, it says appellant's opinion of fair market value, which is, what the property would sell. Real estate market values are as of October 1st, 2025.
All right, but yeah,
So I'm sorry if that's confusing.
Yeah, 'cause when I went through it with the first independent contractor, that was for the assessed value.
Yeah, I don't know why they switch it up on us. So I'm just going to make a note. So I'm just going to make a note that was assessed, and then, so 1, 2,
Let's just run the ratio.
1,268,251. My handwriting is atrocious, I apologize.
Oh, that's good. So you have
Would
one
be
million.
appraised.
Yes, you have 1,456,200.
Yeah, that's the town's appraised value. So if you take that times 0.7, that should get you to the 1019340 that you had on here.
Okay. All right, so that's just 70%. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
All right.
So that being said,
So
then the 887776.
right, if you divide that by 0.7, 1268251 is what I get.
Yep. Okay.
And
No
if
problem.
you want to fight for the 42 cents, I rounded down for you.
Do you have? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, all right. So, all right. So, just for the record on the recording, so Mr. Marks had filled out the form based on assessed value. We made a note of the appraised value on the forms as well. Just to get through the rest of the administrative part, I do need to swear you in.
Sure.
Official hearing. If you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Now that we've got the numbers right, I'm going to ask you to, well, first I'll have you initial here next to my scribble of the numbers.
Yep.
And then I'll have you sign here, confirming that the information here is accurate and that
Do you want me to?
I did swear you in.
Do you want me to?
Oh, yeah, you could, yeah, you might as well fix that there as well.
Do you want me to put in? This is. Let me just. Because this is.
You could write, if you want to write in assessed, and then
I'll say. Praise.
people always told me I should have been a doctor, and I wish that was the only qualification. Okay, so just initial that, and then, okay, and then I need you to sign there.
It is confusing that it.
Yeah, I mean, they say fair market value, but I can understand how it can be a little bit confusing because it's all talking about assessment.
Yeah, and my first conversation with the independent consultant that the town had hired was predicated solely on assessed value.
Right, and when they make an adjustment, they only tell us the change they made on the assessment, and then I have to back it out and figure out the appraisal. Okay, so now the rest of the time is yours to, explain what your argument is. I did review your file beforehand, and I have the 5 comps that you had provided.
Yeah, so my approach to this was I wanted to find neighboring properties all within, like a 1 to 2 block radius.
Right.
And come up with a independent market analysis based upon homes that have similar, that are in similar size. However, in each one of these scenarios for 120 Long Meadow, 230 Long Meadow, 330, 11 o'clock, 327, and 81 Homestead.
These were all, so on all these, like you're looking at their appraisals, these weren't recent sales, right?
That's right. I'm going off of the town's comparison analysis for the updated, assessed values. Based upon the revisions, normalized. So, looking at this, the chart that do you have the chart that I sent?
Yeah, I should. I have it typed into the computer as well.
Yeah, so if you want to just look at that with me on the side. So, our house obviously is the base, and when I normalize this based upon the vision cards and all of the attributes attributed to each one of these independent properties, and then normalizing it just on a per square foot basis associated with all of these underlying, associated elements for each one of these properties, our house is, $282.98 per square foot.
Right.
And each one of these other properties that are larger in size and either have tennis courts and pools or a combination of the two, or basketball courts,
Right.
some other feature that is,
Right.
significantly different from our property. In each one of these scenarios, our house prices at a significant premium to each one of these.
So
then
you've
when
just,
go ahead.
And again, like the price per square foot is one useful metric, but you've also just explained to yourself why
Our house
it's
is
only
smaller.
a useful metric up to a point,
Sure.
because sometimes the larger the home is, the lower the cost per square foot often is, but also when you factor in other amenities like a tennis court or a pool or outbuildings or finished basement and stuff, those bring the price per square foot down.
Well,
Because those things don't count as square footage, even though...
No, but I'm not factoring
Right.
those into the
Okay.
square footage. I'm just saying they have an amenity that our house does
Right.
not have, and on a price per square foot basis, our house is pricing at a premium.
Right,
And,
okay.
and as a result, when you do like a market standard, it's like an 11, when I take an average across, all of the comps, it's like 11-something% premium for our house. And then when I come up with like a weighted average number, it's significantly different. So, to normalize it, what I was saying is rather than going with, this outsized, 11%, if I just applied a 7.5% discount to my property relative to the comps that the town has already come up with an assessed value that is discounted relative to mine on a per square foot basis, I come up with an adjustment of $887. Now, two of these properties just underwent major renovations. So 81 Homestead is 4,600 square feet, has a tennis court. It's 805 feet.
Wait, I'm
larger
sorry, which
than
one
mine.
did you say?
It's in my notes. 81 Homestead.
Okay, 81 Homestead.
And I have the vision card here. As an example.
Major renovations.
Yeah, and that's, pricing, its assessed value is $1,129,660. It's a larger house. On a per square foot basis, it's $243.88. Mine, and that's, 13.8% more expensive when compared to my property, even though it's larger, it's brand new, and it has a tennis court. And then 327, 11 o'clock, is 3,900 square feet. That's 73 square feet.
Wait 1 second. I just want to look at I'm looking at I'm just pulling up that field card to see the work that they did. Right. Yeah, so they have a permit from 23. They put in geothermal. They put in a generator. Rebuilt the garage in 2020. They did a bunch of work. 22, they did an addition and a major remodel,
Right.
it looks like. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they've done, just since 23, they did over $500,000 in
Right.
renovations on that house.
Exactly. And the town has assessed them,
For $200,000 more than theirs. Yeah.
Well, no,
1.6. Or the appraisal, I'm looking at the appraisal,
Yeah.
it's 1.6
yeah, and
versus yours at 1.4.
right, and it's, and on a price per square foot basis on that assessment, it's, $243 per square foot, which is, $40 per square foot less than mine. And, it doesn't really make much
Right.
sense. When you look at all of these
I
other,
just want to explain a couple of things to you, because going just off the square foot, can kind of lead you astray a little bit. Because
Okay.
some of the things that they're also looking at is there's a depreciation factor on every home. When your home was built in 1978, so these homes that were built in 67 and 62 and 70, they're going to have a slightly higher depreciation factor.
Mhm.
Even though this one underwent the
that's just under
renovations, there's still going to be a depreciation factor on the structure, because of just the age of the home.
And that, can you move your cursor?
Sure.
So that's
1970. So it's not going to be a huge thing, but there's going to be some factor.
okay, but but discounting that, the
Right.
fact that the house has been totally rebuilt and renovated,
Right.
and the variance in
Right. Well, and those things, they should be considering
it's just that
those things into
our house, just for the value.
the value.
For the size of our house and the amenities that it offers relative to these comps,
Right. Right.
It's $2,000
Right.
more than the house right next door to us that is, much larger and prices at this is the 120 Long Meadow Road, and prices at 260, just to come up with a metric to determine, an assessed value or
Right.
or an appraised value. It's generally done off of a per square foot basis, just for, market
Right.
intelligence.
Well,
and to
most of it is done, and again, it's a mass appraisal, so
Sure.
that, sometimes they do miss some details,
Right.
Renovations and things like that. They're mostly looking at sales data, though. So I pulled up, these were actual recent sales in your neighborhood code. The actual sales amount is out here. I was just messing around with it, and, I didn't include, because I wanted to kind of see an average. So I kind of pulled some of them out that seemed like they weren't really relevant, because this one is a ranch house that's
Mhm.
significantly smaller. This is that's significantly smaller.
Mhm.
So, these are, this one was 1.2, a little bit smaller than your house. This one was 1.6. It's bigger than,
Understood.
500 square feet. But that's, in the mass appraisal process, that's probably 80 or 90% of what they're looking at is coming from that market data.
But understood. But in comparison to, these 5 comps,
Right.
These other homes are all larger than mine, and,
Right.
have a lower, 230 has a lower assessed value than, is $20,000 less than my assessed value, even though it's much larger.
It can't. 230 Long Meadow?
230 Long Meadow.
It appraised higher than yours, so it can't be.
But the assessed value is, I'm showing an assessed value of, was it 1?
It can't be.
230.
It can't be less, but it's close. It's very close to yours.
Yeah, it says here, the assessed value, $1,061,550. The appraisal was $1,516,500.
Right, and your appraisal was $1,456,000.
Right, but look at this. This is from the vision card.
I don't understand how the appraisal, how it split.
And my original, my original assessed value was $1,082,970.
Oh, but you got a reduction.
And then I got a slight reduction.
Okay,
But
that's
this was
why.
at the, but this was at the onset before anything changed.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's just odd.
Yeah, so originally, clearly it was off, so. Yeah.
I think you see what I'm saying.
No, I definitely understand.
There's not-
Just
The odd ones to me are 81 Homestead and the recent addition on that the property that was recently renovated at 327 11 o'clock, which is slightly larger than mine. And what do you have? And then let me just see what the appraised value there is. That is 931 140 divided by 7. 1,330,200.
Go back to 81 Homestead and make sure I have the right numbers in my notes here for about those permits. That was, yeah, over $550,000. Yeah.
Which one are you looking at?
81 Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one does strike me as odd. I mean,
Right.
even if you, again, I mean, like when you do renovations, you don't always get back 100% of what you put in.
Of course.
But even
Of
if you figure,
But just
even if you get back half, are they saying that that house would only be worth 1.2 or 1.3 if they hadn't added that garage and done some of the renovations?
Right, it just seems, if I was to normalize off their numbers,
Yeah.
there's a significant discount that my house would be afforded. Similar to, if you want to look at, the 330 or 320. Yeah, 327, 11 o'clock. So that house, do you have the appraised value as 1.33?
For which one? 327, 11 o'clock? Let's see. That's the appraisal is 1.5900 and the assessment is 1,050,000.
Oh, that must have changed. Okay.
Did they get a change? Yeah, they did get a slight value change, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird, though. Even though the house right next to us has a lower, starting assessed value.
Which is the one? Which one is the one next to you?
That was 120,
Mm-hmm.
which is slightly larger. It's 4,152 square feet. Ours is 3,827.
Right.
And just when you look at these things, like they have, a 3/4 story. That's 728 square feet that that we don't have. And the but really that 81 Homestead, if you were to normalize that, let me just run the cap, because I didn't have the appraised value. So this is the original assessment is 1,129,660. So that's 1.6, 613,800. I'll just take that 632. So that's 348. 348 appraised price per square foot. 336, and then that would be the appraised. And then so that'd be 933, 335.
So which one are you looking at? Sorry.
If I take, you know, the same numbers assigned to 81 Homestead
Mm-hmm.
and make that adjustment to my house, you know, just on a per square foot basis, let's say,
Right.
yeah, it should be like 930,000 assessed value, like 1.3 million appraised.
Okay. Sorry, what did you say, 1.3?
Yeah.
Function, this adjusted number, because I keep looking at that 886 and thinking, like, we're a long way off, but,
Yeah, so it's like 8.6% cheaper than mine.
right,
You know, so if there's, you know, it's just like an 8.5% discount, which is, you know, actually more than what I had put in here.
okay.
I imagine they're going to be changing the mill rate this year as well.
Oh, yeah, and they're predicting, what did they say, between 18 and 19?
Oh, as that number?
Yeah,
Wait,
based
wait.
on where the budget is now.
What is it
I
right
think
now,
it's
Jim?
27 something. Yeah. Don't quote me, I'm bad at remembering numbers, but pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, it has to come way down because across town, the average was up like
Yeah.
somewhere between 45 and 50%. So,
But yeah, I think you see the logic here, and you see like some of
Right.
these, I mean, these houses too are all within my immediate vicinity,
yeah,
and you know, to whatever extent we can do to, you know, kind of normalize it based upon how the town has looked at some of these other comps from, you know, the assessed or appraised value, and bringing my property down in line, you know, would be a tremendous benefit to us,
right.
just so it's fair. You know, so greatly appreciate anything. What is the process for determining if there's going to be?
Right, yeah, so that was the sort of the next steps, is what I was going to explain is, so I'll be taking all the information that you shared and all the notes that I just took, and I'll present at a deliberation session to a majority of the board, which would be at least 5 of the 9 members. And there'll be a review and a vote. And the board, so when it's presented as basically with a motion to grant the full amount that you've asked for. That can be, the board can grant that, you know, what you've asked for. It could, the board does have the prerogative to adjust that amount as well to something in between, you know, what you're asking for and what the town has, you know, has appraised at. Once that is, you know, decision is final, you'll get a notice within 7 days of that meeting. If you are denied, you can come back again in a year and appeal again. If you're granted a reduction of any amount, then you cannot appeal again until the next reval, which is in 4 years. Or if you disagree with the board completely, you can take the next step, which would be to appeal in court, and instructions on all of your next steps, remedies will be explained in your decision letter.
And do you come up with like a contingency if, like based upon this conversation, you present for the, what was that revised appraised? Are you presenting for the appraised value or the assessed value?
We work off of appraised values, just partly because it's easier, because we can look at comparable sales.
Yeah, so you'll go in
off of this 1.268.
1.268.
And, yeah. And
which is not that far off of 81 Homestead, which is brand new.
Right. And, you know, and when I look at the comparable sales and I just adjusted for the ones that, like, I've just picked, like, the 3 that seem to be most relevant, and those average out to 1.293.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's right
there.
That's within $10,000 of what you're looking for. So.
And you'll present that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share all of that as well.
Okay.
So, it's like, and that's kind of the best argument for us, is if you can come at a few angles to justify the same number is, always a good,
appreciate it.
Good way to do it. So,
this is all volunteer work for you?
It is. I'm not sure I totally knew that. I mean, nobody expected the volume that we were going to get.
We probably didn't know the changes that were coming down the path.
Right. And we knew it was going to be a big number, because this reval has, still kind of that remaining effect of COVID, when I've spoken with people who said, I bought my house, I was in New York, I bought my house sight unseen, and I overpaid by $100,000 because, I had no idea what was wrong with this house.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like things have slowed down much. It's kind of crazy. So,
well, listen, really appreciate all your help. Thank you for your assistance and, the work that you did
you're welcome.
the meeting to come up with, another way to look at the market analysis. So I appreciate that. And obviously there's a real financial impact here.
Absolutely,
for,
yeah.
For our tax liability, and, obviously we want to support the town when we can, but to the extent that, we can still afford to do so.
Right. Of course. I mean, I'm a homeowner in town as well, and everybody should, pay their fair share, but not anymore, and not any less.
Right.
So.
No, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice to meet you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thanks for all your, your assistance and the volunteer work that you did.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay.
All right. So,
it is,
what do you think? It's about a month or so?
It's sometime. It could be as late as the end of May.
Okay.
Sort of the final.
I mean, it's not like this is going into effect.
Right. It'll be before the new tax bills go out.
Right.
Which has to be.
Okay.
Okay.
We got time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Enjoyable evening.
You too. The time is 7:58. That concludes appeal number 159. It's 7:58 p.m. This concludes the Board of Assessment Appeals in Room 3 for March 30th, 2026. Neil Fink.